You don't have a time problem. You have a feelings problem. Procrastination isn't laziness. It isn't bad planning. It's emotion regulation. You delay the task to escape the feeling it triggers. Boredom, anxiety, self-doubt. Avoiding it gives instant relief. And that relief is the trap. The work was never the hard part. The feeling was. Stay with me. By the end, you'll know the real mechanism, and 5 moves to beat it tonight. To beat it, you have to name it correctly. Researchers Tim Peichel and Fushia Sirowa reframed the entire field in 2013. Their finding: procrastination is short-term mood repair. You give in to feel good now. The technical definition: voluntary delay of an intended action, despite knowing you'll be worse off for it. Read that again. You choose the delay against your own interest. What drives it is task aversiveness. The more a task triggers boredom, anxiety, resentment, or fear of failing, the harder your brain pushes to escape. Roughly 1 in 5 adults are chronic procrastinators. Among college students, the number climbs past 80%. You are not broken. You're running default human firmware. So here's the reframe. This is not a character flaw. It is not weak willpower. It's your brain choosing to feel better right now at the expense of later. You're not lazy. You're avoiding an emotion, which raises an uncomfortable question. If it's about feelings, why does your brain pick the worst possible moment every single time? Meet present bias, also called hyperbolic discounting. Your brain wildly overvalues rewards right now and steeply discounts rewards in the future. Economist George Ainsley modeled this in 1975. O'Donoghue and Rabin formalized it in 1999. A small reward now beats a bigger reward later. Every time. Brain imaging makes it worse. Hirschfield's 2009 fMRI work found that thinking about your future self lights up regions closer to thinking about a stranger than thinking about you. Future you is a stranger, so present you wins. Now layer the battle inside the skull. The limbic system wants relief now. The prefrontal cortex wants the long-term goal. Under stress, the emotional system overrides the planner. That's why the deadline finally works. It drags the consequence close enough to feel real. The stranger suddenly becomes you, and only then do you sprint. But here's the twist. If your brain is wired to pick now, why does procrastinating actually make you feel worse and trap you deeper? Procrastination is self-reinforcing. Avoiding the task feels good for a moment. Your brain logs that relief as a reward and learns to avoid again next time. Negative reinforcement, same mechanism that trains any habit. Then comes the second turn of the screw. Shame. You beat yourself up for procrastinating. That self-attack raises stress. Stress makes the task feel even more aversive, so you avoid harder. Sirowa calls this the procrastination stress cycle. Her work links chronic procrastination to higher stress, more health complaints, and delayed treatment seeking. Tice and Baumeister tracked it across a semester in 1997. Procrastinators ended the term with more stress and more illness than their peers. The cost is real. On top of all that sits the Zeigarnik effect. An unfinished task keeps nagging at the back of your mind, quietly draining you, even when you're not working on it. Masicampo and Baumeister confirmed it in 2011. So the trap is brutal and circular. The worse you feel about procrastinating, the more you procrastinate. Which means if shame is fuel for the loop, the fix can't be more self-discipline. So what actually breaks it? Here's the counterintuitive key the science keeps pointing to. In 2014, Fushia Sirowa found that self-compassion is associated with lower procrastination, because forgiving yourself cuts the shame fueling the avoidance loop. There's a cleaner experiment behind it. Michael Wohl, 2010. Students who forgave themselves for procrastinating before the first exam went on to procrastinate less before the next one. Read that again. Being kinder to yourself led to more action, not less. This isn't soft. It isn't indulgent. It's mechanical. Self-compassion removes the negative feeling driving the delay in the first place. You cannot shame yourself out of a shame loop. Punishment just adds more of the exact emotion you're trying to escape. Drop the self-attack, and the task stops registering as a threat, which means once you stop fighting yourself, you can finally start moving. Here's exactly how, starting tonight. 5 moves. Do them tonight. 1. Name the feeling. Say it out loud. This task is making me anxious. This is boring me. Lieberman's UCLA work shows that labeling an emotion reduces amygdala activity and engages the prefrontal cortex. The feeling stops running the show. 2. Implementation intentions. Peter Gallwitzer's meta-analysis across 94 studies found that if-then plans roughly double follow-through. Effect size, 0.65. If it's 9 a.m., then I write for 25 minutes. Specific. Time, place, action. 3. Shrink the start. The 2-minute rule, or eat the frog. Do the worst task first before willpower depletes. Make the on-ramp tiny, because starting is the hardest part. Momentum does the rest. 4. Temptation bundling. Katie Milkman, 2014. Only let yourself do the thing you love, while doing the task you avoid. Field tested. It works. 5. Forgive the last slip and start now. Self-compassion over self-punishment, because shame is what feeds the loop. And watch The Planning Fallacy, Bueller, 1994. You will underestimate how long this takes. Assume longer, start sooner. Do these 5, and procrastination loses its grip. But here's the bigger thing they're really building. Procrastination was never laziness. It was your brain trading tomorrow's goal for today's relief. You don't beat it with more discipline or a better calendar. You beat it by managing the feeling and shrinking the start. Name the emotion. Plan the if-then. Do 2 minutes. Forgive the slip. The deeper truth. Self-mastery isn't never feeling resistance. It's learning to act before the feeling decides for you. This is the inner edge. We take the science of self-mastery and turn it into things you can run tonight. If this rewired how you see your own avoidance, subscribe. Master yourself first. Next time, how to actually focus in a world built to fragment your attention.